Hello and welcome to another Dunoon Model Railway review. Today we will be reviewing the Hornby B12/3 in British Rail livery with a Late Crest. This model is code R3432 and is of locomotive number 61580. Standard Hornby packaging. We've got a bunch of information on the box, the power code, the class, the livery, some basic technical drawings, a bit of information on the class. You can pause that if you want to read it. Start out by getting it out of the box. It's the standard Hornby packaging, which is colloquially known as the block of ice. I'll just carefully get out. Got some instructions, on how to fit guard irons, which I'll do later, and also just standard instructions, so maintenance details, accessories, removing the body for DCC fitting, close coupling, and brake rods and general safety information on the back. You can put these to the side. When I go to open the box, there's some little detail parts just in here. Now these are things like brake rigging and the guard irons referred to before, and brake pipes. Get the model out of its box. Just get it out slowly and carefully so I don't damage it. Just put it down here, move this to the side. Alright, sorry about that, it just ran out of space on the SD card. So it's now out of its box, sitting on the table. Just be very careful. It's got some wonderful detail. If you see there, it's got moulded. It's got valve gear actually modelled on the inside. It's got rivets in quite a few places. It's got glazed windows, very fine whistle and safety valve detail, very, very crisply applied lining. It's got some pipe work under the cab. Two-part connecting rods. If I carefully bring it round to the front, oops, if it'll decide to focus on something other than my hand, focus. Come on, there's a nice engine right there in front of you. Focus on that. Come on. It's being incredibly annoying, but a shed plate number 31A. If I bring it around to the other side, again, it's pretty much the same as the side I just showed you. The livery is very crisply applied with the red, black, red lining and the number and the crest. If I bring it round underneath, it's got space for brake detail, and on this side it's got a model, the water scoop, sprung buffers on both ends, the tender, if it will, no, it doesn't want to focus, but the tender has a printed works plate. The coal load, if I just zoom in, the coal load is removable, as I will try and demonstrate here. Of course, it might decide that it doesn't. Yep, here we go. Well, it just started coming. Now I will, of course, replace this with a real coal load. So I will go out and get some real coal next time. There we go. So the little back plate, coal black plate, bends a bit, just enough to lift up coal load if it actually wants to lift up. It feels like it's been glued on. Oh no, just didn't want to slide out because there's a little tab, as you can see, that just slots in. So there's a nice space for putting a real coal load in there. Little cab vent that opens and shuts, as is the norm for Hornby. Now I will go and I will fit all these detailing parts. I will fit Cadee couplers. I've got a number 20 for the back and a number 18 for the front, so I'll go and fit those and I'll be back in a second. Okay, I'm back and I have now fitted, if it loads, I have now fitted all the brake, all the detail to the front. I've fitted a Cadee number 19 to the front, so what I fitted, the 2 brake pipes and the 2 guard irons, along with a Cadee number 19 on this end. On the tender end, if it will focus, yeah, this camera doesn't like me very much, but on the tender end I've fitted the 2 brake hoses and the 2 guard irons and a Cadee number 18 coupler. So that's each end. On the underside I've also fitted the brake rigging, and I've also set it up with the close coupling, which you might be able to see. There's a bit of coupler bar. Yeah, you can see that there's a bit of coupler bar extending out. That's because I've got it at the close setting. Now, I didn't show you this before, but looking into the cab is beautifully detailed. Separately applied parts, all very well painted. The gauges are just plain white. I've seen some where they're painted, but that's fine. As I showed you before, it's a bit easier to see now though. There's a representation of the internal valve gear. There's a builder's plate on the splashers, and again on the rear of the tender. Sorry. That gold plate is a builder's plate. It says LNER 8580, which I'm assuming is the tender number. Hang on. There we go. All the pipe work and handrails are separately applied. Let's see if it'll... There we go. So it's got the number 61580. It's got the shed plate 31A. Smoke box detail, handrails. It's got lamp irons. On this side of the loco, it's got the Westinghouse brake pump, air pump, and all the other separate tubing. So that's pretty much the detail part. now I will take it up into the shed and show you the running qualities on my Skipton layout. Well, I'm now up in the shed. It's dark outside, hence the poor light levels. But my B12 is now sitting on Skipton. Sorry about the mess, it's still very much a work zone. So, I've got the layout plugged into an old HM Clipper controller. So, let's see, this is on a low speed setting. Now that's as high as she'll go until I start messing around with wave switches and resistance. And then with the wave switch and resistance set, then it is incredibly slow and smooth running. Now let's stop it, bring it back to normal. In the fiddle yard here, I've coupled up 4 Mark 1s. These all have lighting, so they're not very smooth running, which means that this will be a good strength test. So I'll make sure all the points are set. They've all been fitted with Cadiz, as is the standard. You can see the lighting rig working. It's just installed on the points there. I've got cobalts here waiting to be installed, so I'll just run it slowly up to the train. Yep, it's all coupled on, so we'll just bring it forwards. There's quite a bit of resistance, so there was a bit of wheel slippage. If I bring it down and try to start it on the... that might be one reason why it keeps derailing. So if I start out, there's a bit of wheel slippage, but then it gets a grip. So actually this might not be such a great test because of the coaches, as I showed you before. So I'll bring it back. I'll get rid of these and I'll put on some other coaches. Alright, just quickly before I get onto this bit, I should probably say I have actually had a bit of messing around with those carriages and the wheels and pickups on that, so that may well explain why they're not smooth running. Obviously I'd test. Bachmann Mark 1s shouldn't pose a problem, considering they don't have pickups or anything that can mess around with that. So I've now got a train of 5 Ossian E cars. These are Australian carriages, but incredibly smooth running, as you can see. Okay, so we'll couple them up, and on the lowest speed setting she'll go off easily. So that's a 5-car train. They're HO scale, but they're 12 wheelers. So we've got 12 wheel bogies on all of them. So they're hardly small coaches. It handles them absolutely easily, not a problem until you get onto the points. The tender pickups on mine haven't actually been configured properly. I've found out they're a bit loose, so we'll bring that up there. Close coupling, it seems to be handling the Pico medium radius points fine. They're 3-foot radius though, so set track with the close coupling might have a bit of a problem. So we'll put on some resistance and start her out slowly. And it'll handle them nicely. sorry. Then right up to the buffers. There. Then I'll bring it back just into the platform to conclude it. So that's the B12/3. It's a beautiful model, and I definitely recommend it for anyone modelling the LNER or British Railways Eastern Region. Thanks for watching.